Ron, we are back. Thank you for that extended discussion. I thought it was really good. And we have another question for you. So that question is, Ron, can you share a deeper discussion about soul extension?
This has to do with the order of heaven and the family of God, as above, so below. All of these things are true. And sometimes it's hard to really understand that, yeah, it is true. So, what is a soul extension? Well, a soul has the ability to create soul extensions. A soul in the original state has 12. The soul is in charge of those 12 extensions. That's okay. The extension is the personality that comes to the earth or wherever it is. That's the consciousness that you're working with. The soul is taking care of that soul extension and is providing the inner guidance that it needs to take care of things like keep your heart beating and keep breathing and all that sort of stuff. Those are things that come from that soul extension or your soul. So you're down here as a soul extension. If you were to look at the soul says, well, I my job is to be sure that I get that soul extension to the right place at the right time and does the things that are necessary until there's comes a time when it fuses back into the soul, and that's the soul infused personality. That's what we want to be, because that means that we start having our own soul extensions. We can have our own soul extensions because it's like we've obtained the age of accountability and can perform that what we need. The job of the soul is to celestialize its creations. So it's responsible to celestialize what it produces, it creates. That's the order of heaven. And so when you go through the being fused back into your soul, that's the rapture, that's the born again experience, that's the baptism of the Holy Ghost. Those are a number of things that are used to describe that experience. So the soul extension then is extension of the soul into an individuated life. Now, where do I use that term oftentimes? I use that term as an individuation of intelligence from Prime Creator. Prime Creator has the full potential, or is the intelligence, and we get a portion of that assigned to each one of us as as uh, creation of creation of Prime Creator. And in that, we have that spark of life. It is never separate from us. I am never separated from my Prime Creator. I'm never separated. I'm always a part of Him. Every time I do something, I am doing it in effect for Prime Creator, as well as all of the creations that Prime Creator has done. We're in the oneness. That's the intelligence. When we come down to a soul and a soul extension, that is the family of God. That is where there is family. That's the soul extension. It's like a child, and there's generations of those children. When I asked Yeshua, Jesus, Sananda, whatever name you want, Sananda is his spiritual name. Yeshua is his physical name. Jesus was what they created for him. I asked him, what is our relationship? And he said, I am your father. That means that he was the soul and I was the soul extension of Yeshua. How big can that get? Well, you take a body the size of the earth, the body is an integral part of that soul. Huge, huge. Many old souls involved in that particular experience. And that's, we can do that. We can focus on that and create it ourselves. If we get the power and we go through all of the generations that we need to get to the point where we can do that. There's no limitations to what we can do. We just have to kind of work through it all. You just don't go up to the 16th dimension. You have to work through it. You have to fine tune it, but you can go there anytime you want. Just do it. That's what I'm trying to say here. As far as the soul is the parents, it's the grandparents, it's the generations of the family of God, and that's in a spiritual sense. We have the intelligence that comes from Prime Creator. We have the soul experience, and then we have the third dimension where we come in as babies and we are created, walk-ins, whatever you want to, whatever happens that we arrange. So that's the order of heaven. I hope that helps. It's probably not a real good explanation, but I do the best I can, trying to figure out how it all works together. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I'm not. I'm off a little bit, but it's one of those things that it doesn't matter what the you're off or a little bit or whatever. So it can all be just fine.
Great. Okay, Ron, appreciate that very much. And with that, we'll be right back.
Okay.